That's it. That's it. So
yeah,
over to you. Brilliant. Thank you, Robin. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, David, and thank you everyone for tuning in today. My name is Robin. I'm a senior solution engineer with Freshworks. And today I'll be demonstrating, or not the entire product, but then just a few bits from our ITSM product, which is Freshservice. If you haven't heard of us, we have been in the industry for about 5 years. We are a fully featured ITSM product with all the ITIL modules that you would expect from an ITSM product, like incident management, service request management, problem, change, release, IT operations management, specifically alert management. We also have a powerful CMDB project management module, and reporting on top of all this, powerful automation. So we do have all of these modules baked into one single stack. But of course, I only have 20 minutes. I won't be able to show everything to you. So we have handpicked 4 features that I want to demonstrate today. These are the kind of features which essentially, gives you that next gen feel for your IT help desk, right? So I guess without further ado, let me just jump straight into what I'm here for. So starting with the self-service, of course, since the beginning, we have had a very powerful self-service interface. We have always, given our IT customers all kinds of self-service features that they can in turn offer to their end users. Slick interfaces, highly functional service catalogs, everything can be created. But then a couple of years back, we realized that it's not enough to create powerful self-service portals like this, because we realized that we need to be present. We need to extend these self-service capabilities where the end users actually reside. That's where the real value is. So that actually got us thinking, and we realized that we need to build bots. I mean, of course, we didn't just go from straight onto the bots. It was a series of decisions, but then we realized that the right approach would be to build bots for where the end users reside, which is, as you would already know, Microsoft Teams and Slack. Now, to talk about this bot, it's very, very easy to install for your IT help desk. It's just a couple of clicks. You can do this, and the bot is ready. You can even create announcements and send posters just to market the bot in your organization, right? Again, very easy to configure as well. You can of course use the bot as a notification channel, but there are some other cool functionalities also. So unfortunately, I realize that most of you would be on Microsoft Teams, but Microsoft usually makes it very difficult for us to get the trial account. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate the same capability, the same bot capabilities in Slack. So first of all, the bot can be used as a non-demand concierge service, right? So you can always, if you are using Slack for some reason, you can always come here and check all the tickets that are directly assigned to you as an agent. Or if you are a requester, you can see all the tickets that you have raised, right? You can reply to those tickets, add notes against those tickets from Slack itself or from Microsoft Teams itself. If you are on Microsoft Teams, of course, Microsoft Teams does not have these tab functionalities. So what we have done there is that we allow you to essentially ask the bot questions like, hey, show all my tickets or show all the pending approvals. If it were Microsoft Teams, it would just return the list of tickets that you have raised. But let's take this one notch higher. Now, this is an intelligent bot. It is powered by an ML engine, right? I'm an end user and I'm struggling with something. I can always ask the bot, hey, I have issues with VPN, right? The bot would actually recommend to me a solution article that you will be managing within Freshservice. Freshservice has an inbuilt knowledge base module. You can populate it with all kinds of documents and everything. The bot here would suggest the same solution article here to the end user. I'll just mark this as helpful so that the confidence for the ML engine increases. Now, like I said, this is an intelligent bot. So earlier I asked, or rather I typed, I have issues with VPN. Instead of this, I say something like, hey, I need access to VPN. Right, so I've changed the statement here a bit, but the bot is intelligent enough to understand that I am not struggling, I don't have a problem. Instead, I need access to something new. So it is suggesting a service item from the service catalog view that you can manage within Freshservice self-service portal, right? And what's great here is that I can place the request for that item directly from here. So I press continue here, and you can see it's quite responsive. It even shows me all the custom fields that I need to fill to submit this request. So I would just say that, hey, 168.1.0.0, I guess that's the home address. And I'll just say I need access to Heimdall and submit. Boom, it's done. It's as simple as that. Of course, apart from this, all kinds of notifications pertaining to a new reply added on the ticket, or the ticket being closed, all those notifications will also be sent to the end users right here through Slack. So you can actually use Slack as a very powerful channel and essentially extend all the self-service resources to your end users through Slack or Microsoft Teams. Fantastic. So that said, I don't have a cool segue to just jump into the next feature, but that doesn't make this feature any less cool. So the next feature specifically that I want to demonstrate today is orchestration. So Freshservice for the longest time has always had a very cool graphical workflow automator, right? And we love drag and drop. You can always just drag and drop and create the workflows the way you want it. So let me explain orchestration here with an example. And the example that I want to take is employee onboarding, right? Just to give you a background, workflows in Freshservice, they look very similar to flowcharts. I'm sure you would have figured that out by now. So, and like every flowchart, workflows also have event, condition, and action nodes, I mean. So the event here is that the service request being raised. Under the condition, I'm determining that this is indeed an employee onboarding ticket. And once that is done, normally you'd be able to, of course, assign this to an individual agent or a group who should be actually fulfilling these requests, right? Now, this is something that we have had for a few years now. Recently, what we have done is we have built the orchestration functionality, which essentially lets you automate entities outside the realms of your help desk. It's a bit cryptic when I say it like that, but what's great about orchestration is that I can very easily add an app node here. So this is a new employee. Of course, we need to create an instance against their name directly in Azure AD. So I choose Azure AD orchestration. I click on create user, and then it shows me the schema of a user within Azure that is required to create a user. So the display name, of course, would be, I need to find the onboarding form. So this is the placeholder pane, which gives me placeholders for all kinds of forms across the help desk. You can see all the different options here. I will choose the onboarding request, and the display name for me would be first name space last name. User principal name, of course, would be first name dot last name @ freshworks.com, right? As simple as that. So let me just, oh, this should be, I guess, true. And let me just fill some dummy information here. I don't want to waste your time. And when I hit done, and what's great about these orchestrator node is that these are not fire and forget actions, because after this action is done, I can actually add a condition node and say that, hey, if the create user success is true, then you know what? Add a note to the ticket saying that user was created successfully, and then close the ticket. As simple as that. Set the status as closed. If not, of course, if for some reason this is not, you just assign it to another agent and then let them handle it for you, right? So you can see within minutes, we have actually orchestrated something that would have orchestrated or automated something that would have otherwise taken an agent at least 10 to 15 minutes. And it's a lot of manual work, right? You can completely automate all of this and essentially use Freshservice as a system of records, right? Very, very powerful. And you can see how easy it is to create something like this. It almost feels a bit illegal, right? It shouldn't be this easy, but it indeed is. Fantastic. So this is the second feature that I want to talk about. And without a cool segue, I just want to jump straight into the next feature, which is our ITOM feature, and we call this the alert management system. Alert management system in Freshservice essentially helps you discover, track, and manage all the alerts from your monitoring solutions, right? It is a tool agnostic connector to any monitoring solution in the market. And like everything else in Freshservice, it's super simple to set up. And as you saw in the workflow automator or the orchestrator here, it's very easy to set up as well in a very no-code, low-code manner. But then before I'm sorry, I have to take a step back. I just want to clarify one more thing, that the orchestrator is not just for creating Azure users. I want to quickly clarify that we have a bunch of other functionalities also. We have essentially exhausted the APIs for Azure. And it's not just Azure Active Directory that we orchestrate with. We have a bunch of these tools. So you can see Slack orchestration. We have orchestration for MS Teams as well. Microsoft on-premise Active Directory, we orchestrate with that as well. So this list is continuously growing. In fact, yesterday when I opened this, we didn't have as many. I can see a couple of new ones in this list, right? So sorry for that, small detour, but let's actually properly talk about alert management system now. Fantastic. So alert management system, like I said, helps you discover, manage, and track the alerts from your monitoring solutions. Very easy to set up. All you need to do is just click on add integration. We do give you a list of monitoring solutions that you can readily integrate with. But if for some reason the monitoring solution that you use is not available, not a problem. You can just click on custom integration. And in this space, you just need to provide a sample of what the JSON data from your monitoring solution would look like, right? I will just call this test integration for SDI. Yeah. And after that, I go to the next page. I just need to map the alert attributes to the alert attributes from your monitoring solution to the alert attributes in Freshservice. Again, very no code or low code in nature. And I click next again. You just map the severity of your alert, incoming alert, to the severity values in Freshservice. After that, we just spit out the API URLs or authorization for you to essentially set it up with, right? So just to simulate an alert, you can see that I've created I just spun up a server. I created a server asset in Freshservice. So I'm calling it SDI June 2021, right? Let me copy that name for you. And this is the list of alerts that we have, right? So alert is a separate queue from tickets. So that's the first thing I just want to highlight here. And to simulate an alert, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open Postman. And so this is how the Postman, the JSON data would look like. In here, instead of TSLA application server, I'm going to paste it with. Okay, so I copied it twice. There we go. I'm pasting the device name as SDI June 2021. The severity of the alert here is error. And when I click send, you'll see that it's accepted. And here you'll notice that there is a new alert. I'm not sure if you heard that ding sound, but that's the sound of the new alert being created. You can see Thursday, June 17. If you are in UK, this is the time now. Fantastic. And if I go inside the alert, you'll see this is the alert ping that we just received. And we have something here under association, which shows that, all right, we have created a ticket against this as well. Interesting. Let's check out what's happening under this ticket. Amazing. So you can see all this information pertaining to the alert is right here. We also have the asset from the asset database automatically associated to this ticket. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just increase the severity of the alert one notch higher. Instead of error, I'll just say critical and hit send again. You'll notice that the ticket automatically gets updated. We are not creating a new ticket for a new alert. Instead, we are updating the same ticket itself. Now, when I just refresh the page, you'll notice that as the alert severity sort of escalated, the ticket severity or the ticket priority also escalated, right? No, so let's just sort of visualize this. A new alert came in from the monitoring tool saying that, hey, the system is misbehaving. Why don't you go and check it out? The infrastructure team goes and checks out what the alert is or what the problem is. They realize that, there is indeed an issue. They troubleshoot the issue and they manage to fix the issue in some time, right? Of course, now the severity will, become okay or clear. Let me just say clear, right? And when I again hit this, you'll see that there is a new update. And when I refresh this page, you'll see that the ticket has been automatically resolved. So you can see that as an IT help desk agent, you didn't have to interact with the ticket directly at all. Moment an alert came in, you were notified on your email that there is an alert. You went and fixed the alert. And based on what the alert severities were, the ticket priority also changed, but you managed to fix it and the ticket was also auto-resolved. You're essentially using Freshservice as a system of records. Of course, end of the month, you can take a report on, hey, give me a list of all the assets, which misbehaved over the last 1 month, which had like a lot of alerts. And if there is a particular asset that gave you a lot of trouble, right, which kept all the monitoring tool solutions busy for the last month, you can just plan, a standard change or a major change around it so that these kind of incidents are avoided in the future, right? So it's very, very powerful, very easy to set up, and more importantly, it gives you a lot of automation and it takes a lot of overhead away from you. Fantastic. So that is the third feature that I wanted to demonstrate. Now, the final feature that I want to demonstrate is our SaaS application management feature. So we notice, Freshservice and Freshworks notices that there is an increasing shift towards, the adoption of cloud applications in every organization. Even if you're using a desktop application, I'm sure most organizations have configured these desktop applications or desktop softwares in such a way that the users have to use single sign-on to log into the software, right? So there is, every time a user uses single sign-on for any kind of access, there is actually a footprint of that in your Active Directory instance. So we decided to go ahead and build SaaS Application Management, which essentially, there are two approaches that we take here. We either directly integrate with your Active Directory to understand what are the different applications your end users have set up the single signed on into, or we directly integrate with some of these softwares like Microsoft Office, Zoom, Slack, etc. Right? So either way, once you have set up your SaaS application management, once you have configured this feature for your help desk using Freshservice, we will give you a list of all the applications that your end users use. These are all cloud applications, as you can see here. Right? I'm sure you'd recognize some of these softwares. Now, giving you just a list of all these applications is not useful, right? It's a bit chaotic. That's why we have this Insights tab, which will give you an insight of what's happening with these softwares, right? We will tell you how many proper applications we have discovered, but then some review needs to be done. By review, I mean you need to add a license in Freshservice's contract management module, so you can manage the licenses for these cloud applications as well, right? We'll also give you some operational insights in the sense that, all right, we have 11 operational softwares, but then there is no license associated to it. We'll also give you some footprint related information. That is, these are the applications that for which a license is active, but hey, we notice some low activity or no activity among some users for these applications. And the compliance insight is particularly interesting for me, at least, because what compliance basically highlights here is that, or what it tells you is that, hey, we noticed some software for which the license is active, but then the user seems to be deactivated. So the user might have left your organization, but you have forgotten to deactivate their license or free up that license. So the idea for us is to help our IT customers right size their consumption of SaaS licenses, right? Because SaaS licenses are expensive. Companies spend, on an average, spend at least £3,000 per employee in a year on SaaS licenses alone. That's a lot of money. It's extremely important that you are able to, control how much you, or optimize how much you spend on it. So awesome. So we give you insights on, just a collective insight on all these applications. But if you were to drill down into some of these applications, so for example, let's take LinkedIn Sales Navigator. If I just go in there, we'll tell you what the license utilization is like. Your purchase 50. We have quite a few users, how many are available, etc. But we'll also give you activity information. So you can see that there are 114 active users, but then 63 low active and 47 inactive users. If I click on, let's say, low active users, these are the list of all the low active users. We'll show you, hey, they were first seen on this date, last seen on this date, and some other information. What you can do is you can very easily just select all of them, right? Click on take action. You can either just go cold turkey on them, just deprovision the license from them. But if you are nice, unlike me, you would just notify them of low usage and then initiate that action. So this would actually send them an email saying that, hey, we have noticed low activity in this license. So if you continue to, not use it as well as you should, because these licenses are expensive, we will deprovision this license from you, right? Kind of makes you feel like you're in CIA, right? You're able to see how well someone is using these applications. But again, it gives you that sense of power. But more importantly, what's important is that it helps you right size your size, SaaS application usage. Fantastic. I guess with that, that's all the features that I wanted to demonstrate today. We are dot on the time. Just one last point. If you haven't heard of us before, we are Freshworks. You can always check us out at freshworks.com. We have several products. The product that I spoke about today is Freshservice. This is an ITSM webinar. You can always sign up for a trial, or you can give us a shout and we will reach out to you. If you have any questions, I'll be available for a Q&A session later as well. Whew, I guess that's my time, David.
Excellent. Thank you, Robin. Thank you very much indeed. And actually, my mistake on the last session, and apologies to Raphael, I didn't actually cut that short by a few minutes, Raphael. So I'm going to ask you a question when we come on to the session later. So we've got a couple of minutes actually, Robin, and I've got a question that we've got in from Paul. In relation to what they've seen around the customizability, I think it looks like, right? Yeah. So how easy is it for Freshworks users to develop the product, and seeing those workflows being built out, and seeing the, some of the requirement for code, maybe, who do you think would be the people who would be managing that? Would it be people directly on service, or would there be a separate group of people? And what type of skills would you need to be able to manage that effectively?
Right. So the graphical workflow editors, for example, in Freshservice, that is potentially the most complicated feature in Freshservice, but we have built it in such a way that even non-technical users can build it. It's quite intuitive. Most of our customers just figure out how to build workflows by themselves, but we do offer onboarding services, and only optional if the customers want it. We offer onboarding services and training on this as well, and we can train the IT customers or the IT team also, and empower them to manage these workflows by themselves, right? If not, in addition to that, we also offer 24/7 support on all these products. So for all our paid customers, which means that you can always rely on us to help you with these workflows at any time. So if you want to manage it yourselves, which will be quite efficient, you can do that yourself. If you want our help, we can help you out as well. Cool. It is quite easy. It's not. It is very low code and no code in nature. So if I'm sorry if it looked daunting from my demonstration, but it really.
No, I think what is really interesting is seeing the shift to having that kind of or democratizing. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Some of the approval to making that happen, to spinning that stuff up, to be agile enough to do it. And I think certainly from my perspective, what does that mean for skills? What does that mean for roles in organizations? How does that work as we move on, into the future? So no, I think it's very, very interesting, and I'm sure we'll see more of that as we go through today. We've got one more. We've got 2 minutes. Okay. We've got one more question. Does the service bot work from the self-service portal? And that's from Julian.
In the self-service portal, we have other bot products as well. So if you want to, spin up a bot in your self-service portal, in fact, I had it in my, you can